Hey everyone, and welcome back to your English fluency lesson. Now, we are still in unit number 2, and this is lesson number 3, which is going to be talking about our past experiences, things that have already happened in our lives, and now we're going to tell someone else about them, but with extra detail, right? Because this is unit number 2, and we're going to be packing on some extra detail. So let's get started with our, yeah, I cut my finger, I know. Past experience, I cut my finger. Let's get started with our first sentence, which is, I visited my family last summer. I visited my family last summer. Now, how do we make this nice and smooth? Let's do this. I visited. I visited who? Who? My family. Remember, we have second part. We're answering a new part of this question, right? Who? My family. Okay. And then we're going to have a third part. When? Last summer. So we're going to separate these three parts. So I visited, nice and sharp. I visited my family. My family. I visited my family when? I visited my family last summer. Last summer. Nice and enunciated, right? We want it nice and clean. Anytime we talk about dates or time or anything like this, we enunciate. We pronounce every single word clearly. So, I visited my family last summer. Repeat after me. I visited my family last summer. Hmm. I visited my family last summer. What did you do? Oh, I visited my family last summer. See, it's easy to add in these questions, or not add in, answer questions. Speaking of add in, let's add in some more detail, right? We could add a new detail on the end of this sentence and explain a new question. So we could say, why did you visit your family last summer? Well, let's add that right onto our sentence. I visited my family last summer for a family reunion. For a family reunion. So hard to type with one finger. Messed up. So let's put this new piece on and add this extra detail, right? I visited my family last summer for a family reunion. For a family. For a family. For a family reunion. For a family reunion. Let's put it all together. Repeat after me. I visited my family last summer for a family reunion. I visited my family last summer for a family reunion. I could be happy about that, or we could be sad about that. It's up to you. Every time I go to a family reunion, I'm like, who are you? Who is that? I don't know any of these people. I grew up far away from my family, so family reunions were always strange for me. They're all new people. Okay, let's take a look at our second sentence, which is, we went hiking last weekend. Okay. You're noticing a trend, right? We add the when, right, for past experiences. We add the when at the end of the sentence. We can add it before, but then we talk about grammar things, active and passive. Remember, almost all American English is active. We don't like speaking passively. It's very strange. The person you're talking to has to unpack it, rearrange it, and then say, okay. They'll understand you. I mean, it's not incorrect English. It's not bad grammar. We just don't like it. It's more work. Okay. So remember that if you're ever looking at your textbook and it's translating from your native language into English and it's a passive statement, we don't usually like that. Okay. American English is very active. We don't like passive statements. They're great for essays. They are great for academic papers. They're great for academic situations. But 95% of your conversation, I just made up that number, but most of your conversation will be active, okay? So passive stuff is weird. Anyways, that means our time is going to be at the end. So let's put this all smooth. We went. Oh, where'd that T go? It's gone, right? We went hiking, because the next sound is, it's a breathy sound. So we don't want to, unless you're like a musician, which would be cool. But here we don't want it. We went hike. We went hiking. We went hiking. We go up with that I sound. Hi. We went hiking. When? New detail, right? New piece. Last weekend. We went hiking last weekend. There it is. Repeat after me. We went hiking last weekend. We went hiking last weekend. Now, if you were paying attention really close, we went hiking last weekend. Slow down just a little bit, okay? Remember, we can use our speed, our volume, our tones to change how people can understand. And just a small difference can make things jump out when we talk, okay? We went hiking last weekend. Changes the meaning. It was bad, right? We went hiking last weekend. It was a good weekend, right? We went hiking last weekend, right? I had fun. I enjoyed it. We went hiking last weekend. I didn't really care. The tone and the speed and the volume, they all mean something different, even if the words in the sentence don't match it, right? Now, we could add some detail about like a specific place, right? We went hiking where? And then add on the wind. The wind, not wind. We went hiking in the Nevada mountains last weekend. So let's try that. We went hiking in the Nevada, right? It's a new piece, so we're going to blend that part together, right? In the Nevada mountains. We went hiking in the Nevada mountains last weekend. Well, the last weekend part sounds the same as it did before because it depends on you. Did you like it? Was it boring? Was it sad? Was it a bad trip? Up to you. That's where you would change that tone. So repeat after me. We went hiking in the Nevada mountains last weekend. We went hiking in the Nevada mountains last weekend. We went hiking in the Alps last weekend. Ooh, fancy, right? Well, for anybody else, but you hiking in the Alps, it might be normal. That's your backyard. So let's take a look at our third sentence, which is a question. So we know it's a question. Our tone is going to go up at the end of the sentence, right? Did you enjoy the party? Did you enjoy the party? So now we're going to blend did and you together. Now you'll hear this a lot with native speakers. Did you? Did you? Remember we kind of touched on it in the last lesson, right? Would you? Would you? So here we're going, did you? Did you enjoy? We're catching that vibration and carrying it all the way through. Did you enjoy? Did you enjoy the party? Did you enjoy what? What did you enjoy? Did you enjoy the party? So we're going to tone up on this, right? Repeat after me. Did you enjoy the party? Did you enjoy the party? Ah, okay. We can add we can add a detail to the end of this sentence too, right? Whose party? Where was the party? We can add all these details. So let's see. Did you enjoy the party? Did you enjoy the party? Yesterday. We can say when. Did you enjoy the party yesterday? That's so easy. You don't even need my help with that. So, did you enjoy the party at Judy's? Here we go. Did you enjoy the party at Judy's Friday night? Spelled it wrong. Finger. Okay, here we go. So, did you enjoy the party at Judy's Friday night. So let's blend that together. Did you enjoy the party? Same as it was. At Judy's. At Judy's. At Judy's. At Judy's. When? So we don't want to blend that. Friday night. Did you enjoy the party at Judy's Friday night? Tone up. So repeat after me. Did you enjoy the party at Judy's Friday night? Why not? Right? Did you enjoy the party at Judy's Friday night? See, I changed how I said Friday night. I slowed it down. Maybe I didn't enjoy it, and I want to talk to you about how I didn't enjoy it, but I said it in a way where you can choose, yeah, I enjoyed it, and then I don't really talk to you about it. Or you could say, no, I didn't enjoy it, and now we can have a conversation about how we didn't like Judy's party. Do you see how the ending of that, the tone, the speed, it can change it. It can encourage someone to speak to you more. It can direct a conversation. I didn't really like it. Did you enjoy the party at Judy's Friday night? I didn't like it. My tone says I didn't like it. And maybe you didn't like it too. But if you didn't, let's talk about it. Let's gossip, okay? So be careful in how you tone questions because they can encourage people to respond and have a lively conversation, or you can encourage people to have a non-committal response where they're just like, yeah, and it's over. There's no conversation now unless you really force it, which is weird, okay? Remember, forcing a conversation usually isn't good, okay? Let's go on to our fourth sentence, bandage finger. I've never been to Japan. I haven't. I really need to fix that. I need to go. Let's try and blend this together. I've never been. I've never been. It's all like one word, right? There's a vibration going through all these sounds. I've never been. You see that vibration all the way through it? Use it to connect it. I've never been where? New detail. Where? New question. Separate. I've never been to Japan. To Japan. I've never been to Japan. Repeat after me. I've never been to Japan. Now, I'm disappointed about it. I really regret that I've never been. So I'm going to change my tone. I've never been to Japan. Maybe I'm really happy that I've never been to Japan, right? Which would be weird. But here's how you would say it. I've never been to Japan. We would tone up. We would speed up, right? We would show you that I'm excited about the fact that I've never been to Japan, which is weird, okay? Weird. I don't know why. I'm sad. I've never been to Japan and I want to go, right? Really, really think it would be fun. I love anime. I love all kinds of stuff. Total nerd. Okay. I've never been to Japan. Why? See, that's the obvious next question, which means if it's the obvious next question, I can smush it onto our sentence, right? So why have I never been to Japan? Because I'm poor. Actually, I've never been to Japan because I never had a it's a long sentence, enough vacation to go. There we go. I'm giving you an actual reason why I've never been to Japan. So I've never been to Japan because I never had a long enough vacation to go. Super long sentence, but it's the why. It's this extra detail that becomes a whole nother sentence we add on. Pro level English right here. Ready? So let's put this all together. I've never been to Japan. We always break before because or and or something like that, right? Because I never had a long enough. Because I never had a long enough. Because I never had a long enough vacation. Vacation. Tone up a little bit on that, right? Because I never had a long enough vacation to go. Boom, boom, to go, right? Because I never had a long enough vacation to go. So repeat after me. I've never been to Japan because I've never had a long enough vacation to go. Hmm. So sad. So our tone should match this, right? I am disappointed in myself that I never have been able to go to Japan. So I'm going to say it sadly. I've never been to Japan because I had never had a long enough vacation to go. My lips are dry. We want our tone to match our statement, right? So if it's a sad statement, we want our tone to be the same way. I never had, oh wow, I can't even read it. I'm so sad. I've never been to Japan because I never had a long enough vacation to go. Boom. I got it. Okay, let's take a look at our fifth sentence, which is last year, I learned how to cook. Ooh, we moved it to the front of the sentence. But do we have to? No. I learned how to cook last year. So active, right? So active. You choose, okay? You tell me, leave me a message. Excuse me. Which one do you prefer? Last year, I learned how to cook, or I learned how to cook last year. You tell me, which one sounds better to you? No shame if the other one does. So let's work on this passive because I don't want you to be unbalanced, right? Many of you are students. So let's work on blending this. We notice that there's a comma after that last year. So we have to stop. Commas stop us, right? Last year, I learned how to cook. So blend this all together. Last year, I learned how. I learned how. No D. No D. I learned how to cook. I learned how to cook. It's all connected, right? Last year is nice and slow because of that comma. Last year, I learned how to cook. We have to make the other part match the same tempo, the same timing, okay? So last year, I learned how to cook. Repeat after me. Last year, I learned how to cook. Last year, I learned how to cook. Or, I learned how to cook last year. I learned how to cook last year. Let's add our detail to this. Delete. We could say where or what kind of food, right? So last year, I learned how to cook, what can I spell? Indone. I think I spelled that right. Indonesian food. Where? In Bali? Bali's in Indonesia, I think. Yeah, yeah. If I'm wrong, this will be embarrassing. Let's go for it. Let's risk it. Let's roll those dice. Put it all on red. Here we go. Last year, I learned how to cook Indonesian food in Bali. So let's blend that last part, right? Indonesian food. Indonesian food. Indonesian food in Bali. In Bali would be a separate detail. So can we connect Indonesian food to the previous part? Let's try it. I learned how to cook in the, cook cook in the. We can connect that. So let's move it over, right? I learned how to cook Indonesian food. I learned how to cook cook Indo. See it? Do, right? Do, like we're stepping downstairs. How to cook Indonesian food in Bali. Indonesian food in Bali. Let's put it all together. Repeat after me. Last year, I learned how to cook Indonesian food in Bali. I really hope Bali's in Indonesia. I'm like 50-50 right now. It's weird. I'm having a brain moment here. Last year, I learned how to cook Indonesian food in Bali. We could change it. I learned how to cook Japanese food in Osaka. I learned how to cook Chinese food in Beijing. I learned how to cook Midwestern food in Minnesota. Yeah, that would be that'd be a boring lesson. Actually, it'd probably be fun. It'd probably be fun. Let's take a look at our sixth sentence, which is, that was my first time flying on a plane. Ooh, exciting, right? So our tone should show that, right? It should show that it was an exciting thing, unless it was a terrible experience, unless you had a terrible, terrible flight, right? But let's assume that it was a good experience. So let's blend this out. That was my. See, big Z right there on was makes the M for my connect nice and easily. That was my first time. That was my first time. We throw away one of those T's, T, T. We throw away one whenever there's a double letter like that. That was my first time flying. That was my first time flying. Where? On a plane. On a plane. That was my first time flying on a plane. Repeat after me. That was my first time flying on a plane. We're happy about it, right? That was my first time flying on a plane. We're really happy about it. That was my first time flying on a plane. We can't believe whatever happened in that story, right? I can't believe what happened to me. So you can tell by the suspense in the way I said it the third time. The way we say things really, really matters, okay? If you remember anything, the tone, the speed, these things change what you're saying. Even if you just mean the thing you're saying, if you say it in a different way, it means that thing, not what you were trying to say. A lot of miscommunication in English happens because of this, because you said something with a negative tone, even though you were positive about it. People will take it negatively, okay? Or if you say something with a neutral tone, it shows that you just don't care, but maybe you cared a lot, okay? It's an easy mistake to make, and I honestly don't think I've ever seen people really talking about that, but it's very important, okay? Now, if you got something good out of this lesson, let me know. If I got, I'm going to check my phone after I shut this video off about Bali being in Indonesia. I'm like 70-80% positive it is now. But if it's not, tease me in the comment, send me a message. I deserve it. I should know. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll see what I can do to help you out. But our next lesson number 4, is going to be about giving instructions. So I think that's a really good one that we couldn't really have in the very first series because it was just too much of a simple patterns, I could have added it in, but I really, really want to make sure that you get the most out of this. You're able to perform these sentences correctly. So I'll see you for lesson number 4, all about giving lessons. Okay? Goodbye.